Okay, this tutorial is you're going for the A plus. You're going to make tricked out rims and tires, and it's probably easier to start with the tires. So you still have to look back at your original PDF drawing. We want to shoot for about 48 on the outside of the tire itself. But if you're a little bit off here, there's some flexibility. We also want to have an axle of 63. I'm going to let you play with the width of the tire. You don't have to do 18. You can do them wider, but use a standard unit. Use 18, 20, 22s. Something that's going to be easy for you to remember. So we're going to go ahead and go into Creo and set our working directory. And what I did is I went ahead and already made another folder inside of the car called Tricked Wheels. I'm going to right click on that and set that as my working directory just so I can separate it from some of these other files. And go new, and this is going to be trick tires. We'll just go trick tires, or trick would probably be more accurate here. Hopefully I haven't used this file name already. Good. Okay. So now you could draw this as a revolve, which is a little more confusing. I think it's going to be easier for you to do it as an extrude. So we're going to click extrude, front, sketch view. A lot of repetition here. So once you learn these things, it gets easy to draw because you did the same thing over and over. So we're going to go ahead and follow our plan and make the outside circle 48. Okay, so we're going to go 48 here. And this is why we're doing the tire first, because we want to do the outside of the tire, then the inside of the tire, then the outside of the rim will fit the inside of the tire, and so on and so forth. Okay, so we're going to do another circle here. Now this circle is optional. If you want a big old fat tractor tire, or you want a really thin street tire, that's fine. Whatever you want to do here is great. It's your wheel. So I'm going to make mine 40. Okay, I just think that looks pretty proportionate to what I'm trying to get here. And then click OK. Now it's making a tire because I have two circles, so an inside and an outside. And then what else I'm going to do is make the width of the tire. Now the plan says 18, but I'm going to go a little bit wider. I'm going to make mine 22. Now you don't have to do 22. You can do whatever you want. And the other thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to center it on my sketch plane. This is my sketch plane, and I'm going to go ahead and center it. I think this is going to make it easier for me in the long run. And go ahead and accept that. So here's my tire. That's the start of it. And then everything I do from here on out is just ideas. You don't have to do this. It's just whatever you want to do to make it your own. Okay, so I'm going to put some rounds on here. I think that the tire should be rounded. Alright, and I also think that the inside should be rounded a little bit because I want the transition between the tire and the rim to be obvious. So I'm going to put a little bit of a round inside of here. So I'm going to have to go a lot smaller on this round. I'm going to try 0.5 and see what that looks like. Yeah, that'll work. I like that. And then I'm going to actually work on my tread. And what we're going to do is we're going to make some tread across one part of this and then pattern that tread around. But to be able to draw up here on this surface, I'm going to use a datum plane to do this. We've done this before, but we're going to click datum plane tool, and I want it to be parallel to the plane, which is called top here. And then I'm going to pull this up near the edge of my actual tire. Now this is, where you want this placed is totally up to you. I'm going to place it about right there. So you can always change your mind and edit where this datum plane is. Over here on the right, or excuse me, on the left, you could find the datum plane, right click it, edit definition, and move it if you wanted to. There's two ways you can go about this. You can add tread, or you can subtract tread, and it's just totally what you're looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and extrude on this plane right here in sketch view. I'm going to subtract tread. Now what you got to think about here is I'm containing my drawing to this area right here. If I start drawing way out here, I'm actually not touching my tire anymore because the tire is actually rounding down right there and rounding down right there. So I want to kind of contain my drawing right here. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm only going to draw like a half or a quarter of what I want to see here and then mirror it to the other side, because I'm just going to try to make my work easier. So, sometimes you get something you really like right from the get-go. Other times, it takes a few tries at it, but I'm just going to try to make up something here, and hopefully I'll like it. So I'm just going to do something like that, and then I'm going to kind of come inside of here, and I'm going to come down here. So I'm just totally making this up here as I go, and I know I'm coming outside there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mirror this to the other side. So you can see I left it open right there. Once I mirror this down here, it'll close it. So to be able to mirror, I need a center line. So I'm going to place the center line right there. I have to highlight what I want to mirror, so I'll go to my selection tool, highlight this entire drawing, and go to mirror. Select my center line. You can see it closes it and flips it down, and then accept it. And now by default, what you have is we've added material. But what I'm going to do is remove material. So I'm actually cutting in, that groove like that. And I think I'm going to like that. I may want to add more to it here as time goes on, but I'm going to go ahead and accept that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pattern that around the entire tire. Remember, we're going to do this axis pattern, and there's an axis running down the middle of any circular object, or this tire in this case. So what do we want to pattern? We want to pattern extrude to. Right click extrude to, pattern, come up here and select an axis pattern, find your axis, okay, click this angled button, which is going to spin it around 360 degrees, and then I'm going to take a guess at how many copies I want. I really don't know. So let's just try 28 and see what that looks like. When you accept it, it's going to make a pattern, and you're like, maybe I got something here. Maybe there's too many. Maybe there's not enough. So you can always go back here to pattern and right click and edit definition and change the number of copies. Okay? Now I'm going to go a step further here. I'm going to add a little bit more detail to this and then pattern that. So I am going to actually use my datum plane again at the top. So let me orient this so I can tell what I'm doing. I'm going to go extrude on this datum plane one more time and sketch view. And I'm going to add another little feature to this. So I'm just doing something different here. Maybe I'll come back the other direction this time. Maybe this time I'll come to here and then come back to there. And then maybe I'll come across here. And I may get into this and just not like it. And so you just try things, and this is the artistic side of what we're doing. So let's see what that looks like. Select what it is that you drew, mirror it across the center line, which I forgot to put in. So let's drop a center line in here real quick. So we have to re-highlight re-highlight what we want to mirror. So now mirror it across the center line. There you go. Accept it. Now you could do a couple things here. You could say, all right, this time instead of remove, I want to add tread like that. Or you could say, I'm still going to remove material and see what it looks like. See, it's just a little bit more complicated than it was the last time. I'm going to go ahead and remove material, and then I'm going to pattern it again. So the last time we did 28. Let's try that again. Pattern, axis pattern, click the axis running through the tire, angle button, 28 copies. And let's see what we get. So just a little bit more complicated. You might like what you did, you might not like what you did. You might have to come back here and just delete it. It's a work in progress. Okay? So I'm going to color it. I'm going to go with it. So we're going to go View, Color and Appearance, and we're going to try to come up with some kind of black color. So I'm going to take this blue here, and I'm going to go ahead and color it blue, and then I'm going to go up here and go Edit Model Appearance. And then I can come into my color swatch here and darken this up. So I'm going to go for this nice black look. Okay, now it has a blue light shining on it, which I like because it gives it some highlights that are kind of cool. So there's my tire. Don't forget to save all your work. So we're going to save it, It's apart, hit OK, and we're good. So it's ready to go. We're going to make the tricked out rims next.